Welcome to September the 17th homework help for Lucy. If you look at problem number 4, we're going to have to talk about order of operation. So you're going to have to use your PEMDAS. So you have your parentheses, your exponents. As I was saying, you're going to have your parentheses, your exponents, your multiply, your divide, your add, subtract, whatever comes first from left to right. So if we look at our problem here, we have our set of parentheses. So that's what I need to do first. 24 divided by 8 is 3. I'm going to bring it straight down where it is. Now we have a problem here. We have an exponent, but the exponent's outside the parentheses. So once I solve the inside, then I'm going to put my exponent back on my answer that was inside. And we also have this 5 smashed up against the parentheses here. Remember, when a number is next to the parentheses, that means multiply. So I'm going to get rid of the parentheses and put a multiply sign so I don't forget and do it in the wrong order. So I'm going to bring everything else down the way it is. So now my new problem is negative 6 plus 5 times 3 squared. Okay, I'm going to cross off the parentheses. We're done with the parentheses. Now as exponents, we have one exponent right here, 3 squared. So that's what I got to do next. What does that mean? It means 3 times 3. And 3 times 3 is 9. We've done our exponents. We have no more exponents, but I got to bring everything else down the way it is. Now following order of operation, I have multiply and divide. Well, here I go right here. I have 5 times 9. So I got to do that first. 5 times 9 is 45. Guys, your problem needs to look just like it does up above it. It should just get smaller and smaller. So we have negative 6 plus 45. Well, what happens if I take a negative with a positive? They're going to cancel out. So I really can't add those two. I really have to subtract. So go over here to the side. I'm going to have 45 minus 6. 5 minus 6, I can't do that. I'm going to have to borrow. That becomes a 3. That becomes 15. So 15 minus 6 is 9. And bring the 3 down. So my final answer is 39. And I have more positives than I have negatives. So my answer is going to be positive 39. Okay, if we look down at problem number 5. Amy's making a recipe that calls for 3½ cups of flour. Amy has only 1 2/3 cups of flour. How much more flour does she need for the recipe? Well, remember, guys, I want to know what your story is about. Our story is actually about this recipe. So if I set up my story bar with my recipe, the bar represents the story of the recipe. In the story, the recipe calls for 3½ cups of flour. That's my total. So I'm always going to put my total up top. 3½ In the story, I know Amy has. So I do know what Amy has. And the question's wanting to know, what does she need? So Amy actually has, let's see here. Amy has 1 2/3 cups. So I need to find out what she needs. If this is my whole bar, I'm taking part of that 3.5 off. So this means I'm going to have to subtract. So I'm going to set it up. Okay, so if you look up top, I have the problem set up. We have 3.5, take away the 1 2/3 she already has. Now, since we're subtracting, we have to have a common denominators. My denominators are 2 and 3. So a common denominator here would be 6. So that means I would have a scale factor on that first one of 3. 2 times 3 is 6. If I do it to the bottom, I have to do it to the top. So 1 times 3 is 3. And that's called my scale factor again. On the second fraction, to go from 3 to 6, I did times 2 as a scale factor of 2. So the top 2 with the scale factor of 2, so 2 times 2 makes 4. So then I want to look at my problem and I want to do 3 take away 4. Well, 3 can't take 4 from 3. It's not enough. So just like any subtraction problem, I have to go all the way over to my neighbor and I have to borrow from my neighbor. So the 3 becomes 2 and I borrowed 1 whole. Now remember, in a fraction, you're borrowing, that whole can be anything. A whole could be 7 out of 7 is equal to 1 whole. It could be 56 out of 56 could be 1 whole. So in this problem, I'm actually borrowing 6 out of 6. Okay? Because you want to have a common denominator. 6 out of 6 is 1 whole. But I already have 3 there. So 3 plus the 6 I borrowed, because I borrowed 6, because 6 out of 6 is 1 whole. So 3 plus 6 is now 9. So now I'll have 9, 6 minus 4, 6. So in this case, 9 minus 4 is 5. You can't forget your wholes. 2, take away the 1 cup already, gives me 1. 1 and 5, 6. Okay, to sum up our problem, Amy needs 1 and 5/6 of a cup of flour for her recipe. That ends our problems for tonight. Thank you very much.